There are only 3 cards in our main deck that are required to be played on our turn. This matchup's probably bad for us. So one of the things that Hex does that I really enjoy is that you'll see here on the top and the bottom there's these portraits. And these portraits aren't just cosmetic. They allow you to kind of predict what archetype your opponent is likely to be playing, because the champion is kind of tied to the types of cards you want to be in your deck. So my opponent's champion is a Punisher mechanic, so likely they're playing a mill deck. This champion presents me with the choice: do I want to let my opponent draw a card, or do I want to bury the top 5 cards of my deck? It's a Drago control deck that I didn't rename the deck list as it evolved. So it's a Drago control deck, and this is our finisher in the deck. It's a 6-cost action that deals 6 damage to an opposing champion or troop, and then it modifies all the other actions in my deck to give them the text Illuminate 1. And what Illuminate does is it summons candle tokens, basically, and candle tokens start as 1/1s, and I can make them grow larger as I illuminate more. So my opponent played a card that let them Fate Weave, which stacks the top of their deck. So my resource generates this card called Drop of Chaos that lets me bury the top 3 cards of my opponent's deck. So I'm going to bury the top 3 cards of their deck and hopefully knock them off of whatever they were hoping to Fate Weave up. The Ice are a great example of a way Hex reduces variance a little bit. So this is the Fate Weave mechanic, and what it does is it lets you stack the top card of your deck with the card type of your choice. It actually makes the mill deck kind of potent, because it allows the mill deck to interact with this Fate Weave mechanic and kind of like throw off what you're trying to set up, basically. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and Fate Weave a non-resource to the top of my deck here. And then hopefully our opponent doesn't bury that and we get to draw some action next turn. Opponent gets a Withering Gaze, which let them look at our hand and take a card out of it. Instead of discarding that hand, though, it takes that card and throws it into my opponent's deck. I'm going to go ahead and Dingle this guy. So Hex is a priority-based response system, so when my opponent plays a card here, I get a chance to respond to it. And what Dingle does is it takes my opponent's troop and turns it into this ugly pox-ridden 0/1 Dingler here. So instead of having a 2/1 that can draw cards from my deck, I get this ugly Dorko. Have an ugly Dorko, opponent. I forget we have a Dingler emote sometimes. So my opponent hasn't played any bury cards yet, so I'm just going to go ahead and let them bury 5 cards off the top of my deck here. I think that's fine. Which Whisper's a little annoying. Yeah, those are my normal Wednesday and Friday streams. My Wednesday and Friday streams, we just hang out and play Hex. We don't play Magic beforehand, so I only go into details about stuff like that if people ask specifically. So Runic Riddles is one of our card advantage spells. It's a 4-cost quick action that lets me look at the top 2 cards of my deck and put 1 into my hand. And then this has an ability called Runic, which basically takes this and turns it into an enchantment in play until I draw a resource, then I get to replay it. So basically I get this effect twice. Yeah, Heart's Whisper's fine. The opponent's amassing some card advantage here. We want to try and find like my Sabretooths or my Candlelights to try and close this game out. But usually my opponent's inevitability is something that's bad for us. Just gonna play Runic Riddles, see what we find. Grab a Discombobulate, which interrupts one of my opponent's cards. Fortunately, I can't really do anything about this Cultural Damage, so I'm just going to bury a card off our deck every turn. And then eventually this lets my opponent draw 3 cards. Hopefully we can find an Into the Unknown to pick that up off the table. And I drew a resource here. When I draw a resource, it triggers the Runic here, so I get to go ahead and look at 2 cards again and grab one of them. Looking for Candlelights and Into the Unknowns at this point, so 5 pretty good finds and 42 cards here. Yeah, I could Runebind it and Discombobulate it on the way back down for sure. I'm waiting to see if I hit something off of this before I commit to that line, though, Burgle. Stifling Sting, yep. Alright, so... I'm gonna cycle this, actually, see what we find. And then I'm gonna play this Nameless Draught and generate that random card from my hand. And then my champion power here, so the champions kind of give you something to do when you've drawn too many resources or need a little bit of extra to go with your deck. And my champion for 5 charges lets me draw 2 cards and then discard a card at random. I'm gonna go ahead and do that. Lost my Dingle, which is a little sad. I think I'm just gonna Runebind this. Nah, I'm gonna wait till their end of turn to do it. We're not in any danger of them using this to draw cards right away. Oh no, my Runic Riddles. I liked my Runic Riddles. Cockatrice. So this makes me discard 2 cards. Yeah, I don't really care about that. I've got this Scars of War and this Drop of Chaos that don't really do anything in this matchup. Plenty of extra crap here. Bin it. A second Cockatrice would be kind of annoying. Yeah, that's fine. I actually just jam this Primordial Sabretooth next turn and kill that. So Sabretooth's kind of a sweet card. It's a 5/4 speed that deals 5 damage to something when it comes into play. And then for 2 resources, I can reveal it from my hand and then put it back into my deck and deal 5 damage to something. So it's kind of like this roast threat split card, basically. Runic Upheaval would have been nice last turn, so hopefully they don't have a Runebind here and this Sabretooth gets to resolve and gobble up this Vampire Prince and start pressuring my opponent. I have a Runebind, that's unfortunate. So again, what Runebind does is it kind of puts this card in a stasis state for me, and this stays as this rune until I draw a resource. So hopefully we'll be able to do that sometime soon. There goes my Into the Unknown. When this hits me, it buries a card off my deck. Yep. Sweet. I drew a resource right away, so this flips back out. So go ahead and pop this Dorko. Play a resource out here. I think I'm just going to go ahead and attack here. Hero Fall. I'm going to Stifling Sting my opponent. So what Stifling Sting does is it says deals 3 damage to an opposing champion or troop, and if you hit a champion this way, it interrupts all 3 cost actions. I believe the Discord is up. Looks like it's up. Mr. Silicon, did you renew your sub if you're a Prime sub? It looks like your gem is missing. I'm going to go ahead and Runebind this Cult to the Nameless City now because I can Discombobulate it on the way back down. So hopefully they don't have an interrupt for my interrupt. Yo dog, sweet. So this is killing them kind of quickly. We've got 32 cards left in my deck. So one of the things you want to do with this deck that's kind of a little thing, you'll notice I have a stop at my ready step before I draw. If you know you're going to be playing this card on your turn, have your troops get 1/1. Have a daybreak. One of the things you like to do... No, it's only opposing crypts, which is unfortunate. So one of the things I like to do in this deck is... I know I'm going to be Runic Upheavaling this turn, so I want to... That attack seems loose. Unless they have a way to kill this. I like to Runic Upheaval during my ready step, so if I draw a resource their turn, I get to re-trigger it again. Yeah, interrupt means to break, and that's exactly what happened, right? So I drew this off of this, and then I got to re-trigger it immediately, which is sweet. Let's do this. I could do an Into the Unknown for this Cult to the Nameless City. It's unfortunate. So my opponent's going to get to draw 3 extra cards next turn, which kind of sucks for me. Hopefully they don't bury us. This is going to put the 20th card in my discard pile. So now they can pay 1 resource to draw 3 cards with this. Hopefully he's not going to put us too far behind. Yep, that's kind of a beating. So they get to draw 3 cards. They made us discard 2 cards. Yep. Don't have another cockatrice. Don't do it. Alright, God bless. So I can do this and then shoot this. So this was drawn by the Runic Upheaval, so it deals damage when I cast it. It made another Discombobulate. That's funny. So Discombobulate, it interrupts a card, and then each champion gets a random card that they can play. I'm just going to go ahead and bury 5 cards off the top of my deck here. I'm still at 22 cards in my deck, and I feel like I'd rather be down a few more cards rather than give them something good. Okay, with the Discombobulate and the Sting, the Sabretooth might be able to go the distance. They're down to 13 here. Here's hoping. Here's hoping. Sting you. Don't have 2 interrupts. Don't have 2 interrupts. Don't have 2 interrupts. Into the unknown. I'm just gonna fight the good fight here. That's pretty good. This gives a crush too, right? Yeah, sweet. So you get to crush over this witch. Candlelight is lethal here. Verdict's a good draw. This gives it +3, 1 and crush. So they're gonna take 6 here, down to 5. So this is lethal next turn. Oh, it's not lethal because of the Daybreak. I'm dumb. Well, Candlelight or Sabretooth. Candlelight or Sabretooth. A good Runic Upheaval could also do it. That's really unfortunate. Oh, I have a Phantom. I guess I'll lose my troop instead of giving them another Daybreak. Since this isn't lethal anyways. How many Candlelights are left in my deck? They took 1 earlier, they buried 1. They've only buried 1, so there's 2 Candlelights and 18 cards right now. So we're 1 in 9 to kill them. It's probably going to be the end of the game. They just bury a bunch of cards off my deck and they just drew 4 more. Alright. Still 2 Candlelights in my deck if they don't have an interrupt. Play Scars of War, kill your Phantom. Oh, I guess they gained another one from the stupid Daybreak, right? Oh, they have Bounty of the Maggots in their deck? Do I have any Sabretooths left? 1, 2 down. I have 1 big cat left in my deck, so I have 1 cat and 2 Candlelights. Alright. Okay. I probably want to kill this, right? Probably just want to kill this. Otherwise it's going to life drain for them. This is going to suck if I get hit by a discard spell. Maybe I should have held that. I don't know. It lets them draw an interrupt. I think I just have to let them draw here and hope they brick. No, they could guarantee a non-resource because of their thing. There's. Oh, did I really just get to keep this card? Well then, I'm gonna put a stop during my opponent's ready step and Candlelight them then. There's still 1 more Candlelight in my deck? I think there is. And hitting a shard means we're pretty likely to draw it too. Hi, Declan. I hear you, buddy. All right. Please hit a non-resource. Well, that's a tilt. There's our last Candlelight. Man, are we gonna squeak this out? 6U. We can beat one interrupt. Yeah, sweet. Got there. What a slog. What a slog. Yeah, if you have any questions about specifics, definitely feel free to ask. We are happy to help. All right. So Dingle's not very good here. Scars of War is not very good here. The cat's okay because it applies pressure. I think the dark hearts are worth bringing in just because they kill my opponent. Hey, Stone Age X with the 15-month resubscription. Thank you very much and welcome back. I appreciate the continued support. Definitely a Dreamcall matchup. Probably I like Disruptor Drone in this matchup too. What do I think about Eternal? I think the gameplay in Eternal is fine. I think the CCG model for acquiring cards is just like preying on consumers and just like it's so expensive. I didn't want to put enough money into Eternal to really be able to play the game, and I hate playing that grindy mini game to play the actual game. So they have like Vampire Prince in their deck? That probably makes Cat pretty good. Dude, I need you to chill out. My Runic Riddles get slightly less good when I bring in Dark Hearts. I'm only gonna bring in 2 Dark Hearts because they're probably leaving in Hero Fall. Alright, let's do this and see how it feels. Do this and see how it feels. I played, there were some old streams of me streaming Eternal, and I put like $40 into it. Yeah, the links are there, go ahead. Links are enabled. I'm not a big fan of that deck. It's just like super greedy. Just like never ever beating an aggressive deck. Doesn't even have like, just 0 respect. Doesn't even have 4 Scars of War in the 75, and none in the main. But I guess if that's what the format's come to, I feel like you don't have to be that greedy and give up that much against the aggressive decks to like hedge your deck against the control decks. This hand's slow, but like my opponent's deck isn't particularly aggressive, so seems fine. And they can't turn 2 Vampire Prince after they Sapphire on 1, so that's good for us. Cult to the Nameless City is really annoying. Double Cult is really annoying. This is probably gonna be pretty impossible for us to beat. We need to hit Disruptor Drones or Dark Hearts like ASAP. There goes one of our Dark Hearts. Because like the format's pretty controlling right now, but like there's a reasonable number of, hey, that is phenomenal. All right, let's just go ahead and do this now while they don't have any interrupts up. So Into the Unknown returns this card to my hand and then takes all other copies of that card in my opponent's deck and turns them into something else. So this is the only Call to the Nameless City they're gonna have left. Cockatrice will be a little bit of a beating here, but it is what it is. Howling Madness, sure, don't really care about that. Wow, there were like no resources coming up in our deck. Have a card. Retreat, sure. I guess that was probably, was that retreat a, yeah, it was a Cult of the Nameless City. It's fair, fair's fair. Let's stack a non-resource on top of my deck for them to bury out with this Cult of the Nameless City. That's not true. It's not true, Trevor. There were literally 2 aggro decks in the top 8, and there was a 3rd that missed top 8 on tiebreakers. The format is fine, stop crying. Wah, wah, aggro's not as busted as when Lasgar's Vengeance was legal. Wah, wah. I'm gonna hit this. I could hit another Sabretooth. Falling pretty far behind here. The double cult on the play just kind of put us behind the 8-ball. This Vampire Prince is 2 as follow-ups. Shredder's on my team. I'm gonna give him shit. TCG players just like to complain too much. It depends on the speed your deck is playing at, right? Like, Bounty is quick. So, like, if you're interested in playing against mostly quick things, if you're interested in most of your deck playing out at quick speed, I could see the appeal of Bounty. Oh, yeah, I'm gonna take them off of this for now. Immediately draw the Disruptor Drone to punish my having burned the Runebind. That's how my life works, right? That takes some pressure off of us, I guess. Because, like, they're not gonna get more cards in their hand. Attacked for 3 here. There's my Psychic Ascension. That's fine. We're definitely in trouble right now. Hopefully this Runic Upheaval resolves and find something that can kill this Vampire Prince. Something to kill the Vampire Prince, please. Casual 3 resources in a row. Never lucky. I probably need to do this now, actually. Alright, yeah, we're done. Get to the 3rd game here. Do I want these Return to Cinders? That's... Return to Cinder versus Cat. I'm gonna put the Cinders in. They're cheaper, and the fact that they have Thought Collector too. Discombobulate creates extra random cards that can not only win the game for us, but they also discard to Sahas. It's also slightly easier to cast on our Threshold base, especially in the aggressive matchups where you want to get double Ruby for this earlier. It's okay. Yeah, I think I'm okay with this reserves plan. They've got Princes and Collectors, so the Cinders are probably fine. I value consistency more than most people like Bob and Cheese. I like to be able to play my cards. Alright, I'm gonna stack a non-resource on top for now. We got plenty of resources in our deck. That's not bad. I should play this for now and pass. Second one, tilt. Alright, Discombob, not bad. I mean, they don't know it's there either, so that helps a little bit too. Hand's a little medium right now. We just need to develop a little bit more, right? Kind of looking for like one of our 4-cost draw spells. That doesn't seem terrible. Sure. Disruptor Drone's not bad. I'm gonna play this out proactively. If they try and hero fall it, I can Runebind it in response. Get some pressure down between this and this. There's a good chance Massacre's not in their deck anymore. So playing out 2 cards seems fine. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and bury 5 cards here since there aren't too many cards in my discard pile at this point. Deal. Kinda sucks that they took one of my Candlelights and now I'm down a Candlelight and oh, what's it called? I think I'm just gonna go ahead and Runic Upheaval while they're tapped out here. We hit a resource, so I get to go ahead and do that. So now I have Runebind up still, which is nice. Alright, it's fine. So long, Disruptor Drone, you will be missed. Sweet. I'm going to put a non-resource on top of my deck here, and then I think I'm going to go ahead and hit this. I've got a bunch of cards that aren't very good in my hand. Look at that. And that's exactly what the Drop of Chaoses are in our deck for, just for reference. They're there to, like, have a resource to play out that can then be discarded to something like this. Well, I guess that means I don't have charges for this, right? It's a little sad. It's a shame our Psychic Ascension is gone. They probably don't have enough cards to board all their removal out. If I had to venture a guess. I'm gonna wait one more turn so I can spend 2 charges to make this unblockable in 3/3. It seems like a good use of my charges. I don't want to play Hex anymore. All right. Anyone want to buy 4 Hero Falls? Alright, let's play one more with this deck. Oh yeah, because they're afraid of Robo-Goyles, right? That's what it comes down to. Alright, hopefully we can play, get about a half hour till Jake gets home. So we can play a match in that time. Otherwise I'll have to break in the middle. Haraza. There's a few different Haraza decks right now. Could be Sockets, could be that other control deck. It's a little medium, but I'm going to keep it on the draw. I think it's pretty good in most matchups. It's got spot removal, these are counters. Could be Ardent. Some kind of momentum brew. Could be Ardent with just like a one-shot righteous black shot in it. Doesn't seem terrible. Need to draw a 3rd resource for this hand, but we're playing 26 and we're on the draw, so hopefully we'll hit. It's a shame that coin wasn't an ice. That's kind of scary. So like now, we're going to be pretty far behind in this game because we were on the draw, which is unfortunate for us. Like I need to kill this or it's going to get huge, but I also like need to hold up resources to respect like their other plays. I think I just have to axe this and like hopefully we run off a resource here. If they have a powerful 3-drop to play like an Ardent Crusader or Hero of Legend, we're going to be really far behind. So if they have 3 into 4, we're probably just going to get run out of this game. We also need to like hit a resource somewhere in the middle to be in the game at all too. This charges up momentum again. Which scary 3-drop do you have? Alright, that's less scary than it could be. Says whenever you play an Ardent Troop, you get a Valor. They have like an Intrepid Conjurer that could also get out of hand pretty quickly on us. Shard, please. I was so excited because I thought we were going to be okay. And then we bricked again. God, this would be... That's the perfect card to get us back in this game. Does 2 damage to every champion and troop, and they get this doesn't heal. So, alright. Alright, I can dingle a powerful 3 or 4 here. And then maybe rip a Ruby to Scars of War. So if they Valor this, we're going to take 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and go to 10 here. Alright, no Valor, so that means they're going to have a play post-combat, which should be good for us, so we can dingle it. We'll draw a Ruby Shard and cast Scars of War next turn. The old post-combat, make my troop bigger. This was a good example of how to brick and die. Hope everyone took notes. Alright, I like to cut 1 win condition in this style of matchup. Bring in these Return to Cinders, bring in the Sabretooth, bring in Darkheart. Put Swift Strike. I want Gladiator in this probably, right? Yeah, let's put Gladiator in these. Gladiator's a minus cost. The old 4/5. Life sucks and then you die. Yeah, it's basically a good lesson for all the kids out there. Life sucks and then you die. Disruptor Drone's actually pretty good in this matchup. It's a 2-drop that can just trade with one of their things and it can clean up their Haraza banner as well. Discombobulate's a little bit slow. I don't think I want to use other cards. I guess Runebind is fine when I'm on the Darkheart plan. Yeah, you can have all of your things socketed with different things if you want. Yeah, I want to cut all the Discombobulates. I have Dingles and Stings and Runebinds and Darkhearts. Let's try this. I could see even trimming 1 more Runic Upheaval maybe. Oh, yeah, I think this hand's keepable. It's like not great, because it's actually great if we hit another Ruby, right? Like it's got Scars of War, it's got Dingles for their larger threats, it's got Runic Upheaval for card advantage, so we need to draw a resource in 3 draws here. We were unable to do that last game. Hopefully we can do it this game. They must be playing a bunch of these. I guess this card's very good, so it doesn't seem unreasonable to play a bunch. If they play more stuff that dies to Scars of War, I'm not going to dingle it. Hopefully we can hit and get value with the Scars of War. I could definitely see this being a very play-draw dependent matchup. Like if we win the coin flip and we're okay on the play. Definitely wouldn't be surprised this is tough for us in the draw. Although I guess Return to Cinder is probably a card that can help us break serve a little bit. No second troop is good for us. That is not good for us. I'm gonna go ahead and drop a Chaos here and mill their Fate Weave. Maybe this will cause them to brick. So the drops are in here to discard to Sahas, but sometimes you can randomly hose a Fate Weave, so sure. No Shard, yeah! Nice house, it's good. You have a very nice house, yeah. No, Dad's standing up, bud. We can build houses together after we eat lunch, okay? Holy shit, we are just so So unreasonably unlucky. It's funny, I started with 22 shards in this deck and cantrips, and then I got to 24, and now we're on 26, and it's just like, why aren't there more shards in my deck? Why aren't there more shards in my deck? It's because this game doesn't have Tron, you're not wrong. Not having Tron definitely makes the game healthier. Another thing that makes the game great is that in... discarding a Candlelight, I guess. If they double Valor this, I'll just kill it. We should lose this match with, like, not having played a card. Sure. I'm gonna Stifling Sting this Daughter of the Poet now. Because she won't die to the Scars of War anyways. Might as well. Some kind of combat trick. Am I getting Riposted? Riposte is a card they could reasonably be playing. Feels like they have Riposte, right? So I'm going to stop during my opponent's ready step and scars them then. This gives them an extra Valor, but it means that their Riposte is worse. So like now if they want to riposte me, God, I'm so smart and thin. Just sniffed it out. I guess they draw a non-slow shard here, they could go shard on here. But if they don't draw a shard here, they're just going to get ranched by that Scars of War next turn. And hopefully we draw a non-slow shard. Okay, that's a slow shard for them. So we're going to get hit for a little bit here, but they're still going to get ranched by the Scars of War. Because the riposte, if they don't play the card that they take from us, it reverts and comes back to us. So just a little bit of a tempo play. We are going down to 9 here, though. So ideally, we're going to hit a non-slow shard, so that way we can Scars of War them plus hold Dingle up for their follow-up play next turn. We're going to take 7 down to 8. If we hit a non-slow shard, we're going to be in a great spot. We've bricked so much this game, please. Ding, ding, ding. And so Scars of War, one of the really important things this does is this card says these troops don't heal anymore. So this card's going to keep the 2 damage on it through my opponent's turn. So when her momentum wears off next turn, she'll die during my opponent's ready step. You dead? It didn't matter. They assumed that we were just Scars of Warring anyways. It didn't matter which one they pumped, it was going to die. The Outlaw was only a 3-2 because my opponent had given it momentum. Hey, Nero. Morning. Afternoon. Almost afternoon. Catching us right at the tail end here. Wrapping up this match, and then I'm calling it a day. Ring-a-ding-dingle. So Dingle, again, takes their troop on the chain and transforms it into a pox-ridden monkey. I'm just going to play these Dark Hearts out. I'm going to get this Dingle off the table so that way they don't have too many non-socketed cards lying around. Maybe they could have something like Decree of Banishing in their deck. Like if they go like Shard, Decree, Moonrise here, where we're just like up a creek without a pedal. It's offensive to monkeys, right? Look, as part ape, I'm allowed to be offensive to monkeys. Ooh, they have Blaze of Glory in their deck. I think the deck that got 9th had 2 of those, so I guess that's not too surprising. I'm gonna play Disruptor Drone, might as well. I think we know they have 1 Valor in their hand right now. I feel like I'm pretty unlikely to be able to use this Runic Upheaval this turn anyways. So this like answers a Righteous Outlaw, cleans up their constant here. We're in an okay spot now. That one is getting dingled. Heart of Embers is real good. They ever riposte? If they ever riposte, they almost kill us here, right? They get to go riposte this, Valor this, shoot this, champ power, crack us for 5. Sure. Yeah, he's dead, Jim. You're gonna be real sad that you did that here in a second. I play this dark card out. That's funny. Play this guy out, pass the turn. If they have 2 threats here, we're going to be in trouble. Removal plus threat, also very good. Best threat, NA. Yep. I'm gonna play this. I think I want to hit this rather than Runic Upheaval to start. Probably dead. Alright, that technically means we're not dead. I believe their last card's a Valor, so hopefully they draw a brick here and then we can kill this with this. Man, so close. Close game. I think we stumbled just a little bit. We stumbled just a little bit too much this game to be able to really recover, I think. If we just like read one more resource here, we could do this, kill this, and then Cinder this to not die, but yep. Yeah, I think so, Bob. I think the Dark Heart plan's not good enough. I think my gut that people are just going to leave in a bunch of removal is probably correct. Well, at any rate, I'm going to go ahead and wrap up for the day. I'll be back tomorrow. Remember, Wednesday morning is all Hex all morning. And if you're one of my Magic players that hung out through the end, we'll be back with more Magic tomorrow afternoon about 2 p.m. Central Standard Time. Thanks for watching, folks, and I'll catch all y'all around later. Remember, if you missed any of today's stream, we've been going for almost 4 hours. It's heading to the YouTube channel right now, so have a good day.